read your owl. And it sounded like you could use my company tonight. No, I'm afraid it's quite the opposite, my dear. Truthfully, it was I who didn't feel like spending the evening alone. I know that look. Come here. What happened? You don't want to talk about it. I don't blame you. People have a way of draining the life out of your body by merely existing, don't they? Vampires. The lot of them. I'd hex the hell out of everyone who's ever wronged you if I thought I could get away with it. But everyone knows how protective I am of you, and I'd be on the receiving end of a Dementor's kiss faster than I could say Azkaban. Don't worry, I won't do anything stupid. I trust you would tell me if it were anything serious enough to warrant my intervention. Unfortunately, the world is full of assholes, and they keep breeding. The best you can do is avoid them as much as possible and seek refuge in my arms. Like this. Better. You've made this room quite cozy, haven't you? Candles, books that throw you always steal from the common lounge. I recognize it. I was the one who enchanted it, you know. Self-warming, stays just a degree or two above body temperature. Not too hot, not too cold. Just enough. Let's cover you up. No need to thank me. I'm simply reclaiming what's mine. Do you remember the night we stayed out by the lake? After curfew, shivering in our cloaks like fools. You tried to name all the constellations and got precisely 4 of them right, and still argued with me about the 5th. You were wrong, by the way. It was not Canis Major. It was Orion's bloody belt. 3 stars in a straight line. How could you miss that? Damn right I'm still arguing my point because I was right and you were a stubborn brat. Still are. If it weren't for me, you would have failed every astronomy exam that year. What do you mean you faked it? Did not. Would not. You had to be top of class in every subject, not excluding potions. But I had you there. Although that 1 C was because you swiped the last of my nightshade to poison Emily Brighton after she told everyone you had a crush on me. You're lucky a month detention with Filch was all you got for that little stunt. You could have been expelled if it weren't for McGonagall putting her neck out for you. Did you really? I don't believe it. I still can't believe it now. And you've been my girlfriend for nearly 3 months. I'm sorry that I didn't notice. I was blind back then. Confused. But I see you now. And I don't think I'll ever be able to look at another the same way again. Here, drink your tea before it gets cold. I appreciate and, of course, respect your independence. But I do miss this. Nights we spent talking and studying together before the world became complicated. We both are in the habit of retreating into our own spaces, but perhaps it's time to create a space we can share together. What I mean to say is, carve out some time for the two of us to simply relax. Sip some wine. Perhaps read a book together. How about this one? Old magic and winter lore from the northern wilds. I don't know why you bother with this old folklore rubbish, but I admire your odd little compulsion to read anything you can get your inquisitive little hands on. I see you've been reading about candle superstition. You've marked this one, The Candle Bearer's Tale. There once lived a girl in the northern woods, where the frost clung to the trees like lace, and the moon knew her name. She lived alone, though not unhappily, for the forest was full of quiet watchers. Silver owls in the branches, foxes that left her tiny offerings of feathers, and shadows that never dared touch her cottage door. Each night, she lit a single candle and placed it in her window, not because she was afraid, but because someone, somewhere, might be wandering, lost. The flame was not a beacon. It was a promise. One night, just after the first snow, a knock came at her door. A man stood there, tall, cloaked in raven-black robes, frost on his lashes, a silence in his eyes. He did not speak, only looked at her with the weight of 100 winters behind him. She opened the door, and in he came. He did not ask for warmth. He did not ask for food, only to sit. And so he did, by the fire, saying nothing, listening to the wind outside rattle the windows like a ghost trying to come in. His presence was heavy, like a book bound in grief. But she said nothing. She poured him tea, set out honey, and let the silence settle like snow between them. Time passed, though neither could say how long. The candle burned lower. The shadows grew longer. The fire shrank to embers, and still they sat, two strangers wrapped in silence that no longer felt empty. Once, she thought she heard him whisper something. A name, perhaps, but the wind carried it away. When at last he rose to leave, he turned to her and said only this: "Thank you. You reminded me that I once had a name." He vanished into the trees, no footprints in the snow. But every night after, she lit the candle, and every now and then she'd wake to find a feather on her doorstep, black with a silver tip. Some say he was a ghost, others a cursed man bound by silence. In the northern wilds, it is said that candles are not merely for light. Old witches taught that flames carry memories, and that a window left glowing at night is a kindness the world rarely returns. Such candles are not lit to summon, nor to ward away, but to acknowledge that something unseen may still be passing through the dark. They believed that a single flame, tended without expectation, could offer rest to the weary, direction to the wandering and remembrance to those whose names had thinned with time. And though no one could say for certain who might follow such a light, it was agreed that turning it away was the greater danger. So, the girl lit her candle each night thereafter, not as an act of hope, nor of sorrow, but of courtesy. An old magic observed by those who understood that not every traveller is meant to stay, and not every visitor must be known to be welcomed. For in winter, especially, it is enough to leave a light burning, and sometimes that is all the magic required. You've drifted off, haven't you? I can tell. That soft glaze in your eyes.
The way your lips part when your jaw rests. No, don't sit up. Rest your head on my shoulder.
I could read another, if you'd like. Or we can just stay like this. This is perfect.
Just like this.